I just want to point out this is therapy for us all. Like week in, week out. We look forward to it. Listen,
Well,
it's
it's
just
gonna be one of them nights.
it's going to be. I'm telling you. Another Tuesday night at 9. What's up, fellas, man? Prototype Dad in the building. How y'all feel tonight?
Yo, what it do?
Mo, you on mute already.
Feeling good, feeling great. Already, it's gonna be one of the nights. I see.
Yeah, I got a couple new little toys, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a good time, man. Um, man, it's beginning of the year and it's a good time to get a mental health check, man, and just kind of see how everybody doing, how everybody's standing up. A lot of things, changed over from last year. Now we in the new one, man, and it's good to kind of see how we ran the show last week about starting and stopping, and things we kind of do to set ourselves up for the year. And we just want to make sure that our mental mind state is on the right path, man. Um, I'm gonna start out with the surprise question of the day. You know what I'm saying? This question's kind of been going crazy around the loops, man. And we're gonna start out with Mo Better on this one though, but I'm gonna throw it at you. Would you rather take 10K straight up or 10 million on a coin flip? What would you accept?
So look, you changed it a little bit because it was 100K straight up cash.
I'm in
Um,
100K. I'm in 100K. Yeah.
okay, because I was say that makes it even easier, but
Yeah.
a
No,
hundred K,
100K. Yeah, 100K.
yeah. So 100K straight cash or a coin flip for 10 million. Um, I guess it just speaks to me being different. Um, it's not even it wasn't even a decision for me. It was the 10 million. Definitely 10 million.
All right, we're gonna go into it. I want you to
Yeah, we'll
elaborate
go
on
on why
why.
after everybody answers, but
I want you
it
to
was
elaborate
definitely the
on
10 million.
why. What's up, Lee? Where you going with that? You taking 100? You taking 100K or you taking 10 million on the coin flip?
My mic. Um, yeah, I thought you was gonna automatically unmute me. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'm taking the coin flip too, man. You know what I mean? I think I was saying earlier, man. Playing with the house money, man, you can't lose. It ain't mine anyway. I'm flipping. I ain't got nothing to put into the pot. I mean, I'm taking the chance regardless. You know what I mean? For the 10 milli, that's off rip.
No, I'm taking 100. I'm taking 100K. Um, I have my reasons for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's because I'm different or whatever, but I have a different belief in myself, I guess, on why I would take that. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Mo. Why would you take the 10 million over the 100K?
So a couple reasons. So first, man, and trust me, this ain't being cocky or nothing like that. Yo, that 100K doesn't really change nothing for me. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, man, I would imagine, everybody, even in our circle, man, we make that every year. And we ain't found a way to 100x our money yet to make it to a 10 million. So on a 50-50 chance, man, I'm gonna definitely go for the coin flip. Even if I was to let's say I flipped the coin and I lost. Okay, so I missed out on the guaranteed 100,000. It's still steak and eggs for breakfast every morning. I'll be okay. Whereas that 10 million, man, that's life changing. My kids is going to be like, he was a great man. Man, we really did it. Mo Better Enterprises started one night on a coin flip, like they do with the Roonies, which I don't know if I believe that story, but yeah, man, that's why I would do it, because the 10 million is life changing. The 100,000, not so much. Don't get me wrong, that's still good money. I'll probably cry in the car after I lost it. So let's not act like it's candy money, but yeah, I would definitely take the 10 million because it's life changing. It would be life changing for me.
What's your take on it, Lee?
I mean, I feel similar in that regard. I mean, probably not as much though, because I don't see a use for it. Like for me, it's just like, how many opportunities are you going to get to flip a coin? Like, and you don't have to put no skin in the game. Like oftentimes when you got to do these type of things, you got to put some skin in the game. Put up half or something like that. They giving you an opportunity to net 10 million with a 50-50 chance. It's not only is it life changing, like it could change generations, like Mo was saying. So it's a whole different conversation. And regardless of, you know, in most circumstances, I would always say, man, take the cash at hand, especially if there ain't no strings attached and no taxes. You know what I mean? But when you put if the conversation was 5 million cash in hand or 10 million, you know what I mean, coin flip, I'd probably take 5 million. You know what I mean? I could do with less than, you know what I mean? I could do with that half off. But when we talk about 10 million to 100,000, it's like, you know what I mean? Couple vacations, that's gone. You know what I mean? So it's not really changing much. You know what I mean, in that regard. So I think I would probably go for that, because you're not gonna get too many chances like that where you just gonna get a coin flip. And you know what I mean? If I don't get it, then I walk away and I'm the same. You know what I mean? And if I get it, man, I'm hiding, man. I'm about to buy a bunch of property in the middle of the woods somewhere and don't tell nobody I want it.
Look, ain't have to be no indecent proposal or nothing either. Man, I'm taking that coin flip.
No, for me, I would take the straight cash. I would take the 100K. You know what I'm saying? And even though we make that, right? That's 100. That's 100. That's 100 racks. You know what I'm saying? That I got free to play with. We make that. We got expenses that come out of that. So it ain't like it's just free money just because we make it. You know what I'm saying? But that extra 100, what you didn't work for it, and all I got to do is invest it. I got plenty of investments that I can do. You know what I mean? Use that extra bread. I don't got to save up for it. You know what I'm saying? And just apply it to the investments, and I'll see 10 million and more. You know what I'm saying? So it's a guarantee. I'm not like necessarily. I don't need, you know what I mean, the 10 million all right now, because I believe I'll get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just got that ambition like that.
So no, and that's dope. So look, I've asked a lot of people this question, and a lot of people said, "Oh, I'm gonna take that 100K and I'm gonna flip it." Yo, if any of y'all have a real strategy on how to 100x your money, I got 100K for you right now. Flip my money for me. But nobody had anything concrete, so that's why I'm like, that's why it was the 10 million for me. But yeah, man, if anybody even out there in the world, if you got a surefire legal way to 100x my money, man, let's talk.
Man, all we gotta do is put one of these apps out, and it'll be cake. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the real thing that can happen. You know what I'm saying? The main thing that stops me from actually putting the apps out, or you gotta pay for the development of them and housing them. But if I had that extra bread just to house the app, then I could work on and use a little bit for marketing. That app will make the million, 10 million, flip it around and create that many more businesses. And it's not about flipping a coin to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So, because you could lose. But no, I hear you.
But if you win, you could still invest that.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you win, you
invest that 100,000, and
you still
got 9 million. Like you 999.
I got a trick to how I do coin flip. So if I'm able to see the starting position of the flip of the coin, then I might go with that. But if everything being blind, you know,
tails never fails.
Say that again.
Tails never fails.
Unless it's that Steelers game against the Lions.
No, it depends, man. Like
on Thanksgiving, right? Wasn't that a Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Yeah.
But if you ever like had a quarter and you flipped it, it always ends on the other side. Like,
tails never fails. That was always my rule as a captain.
People start with heads. People put heads on their finger. But if you put tails on your finger and flipped it, it's coming out the other side. You know what I'm saying? So if I could see where the coin flip is, but if it's like computer generated on some random computer, like I ain't trusting that. I know not to trust that. So yeah, no, I'm not taking that coin flip. But with that being said, right? Of the wishing theories or whatever. Um, what kind of pressures I've been facing, man? What kind of pressures lean on us as men? What would you say, Mo?
Um,
Men in
man,
society
like
as a whole, like you know what I'm saying, as far as keeping,
right.
yeah.
Because man, like I feel I got rid of a lot of stress last year. So I'm at a really good place, but just holistically, the the expectation to provide and to stay even killed in everything that's going on, man, because this is a wild time to be living. um like people don't we don't really acknowledge it. Like we went through a whole pandemic. Like I remember, like it started kind of like messing with like my mortality. Like, yo, this could be it. And like, do I have everything in order? Like, are the people that I'm responsible for, are they going to be okay if I'm no longer here? So those are the type of things that totally, like, it made me think about those things. um so to making sure that things are in place for when I'm no longer around. Do I have enough for when I'm ready to retire? Like I've been thinking about a lot of stuff lately about the future. It hasn't been about survival. I would say I'm definitely out of survival mode in this. I mean, I'm definitely trying to make sure that I have everything in place for the future. And something else that we've kind of been talking about on the shows recently is like it's very much wild times and who knows what's going to happen. Like, can I protect my family if it goes down? Like, that's one of the things that like I think about. I don't know if everybody's thinking about it, but like, let's say, like people are losing hope because they've been cost out of everything, like just a normal life. They can't rent a place, they can't buy a place. Like, so when you lose hope, you lose civility. So folks are going to just start taking. And I'm like, yo, can I protect what I have? So those are the type of things that I've really been thinking about lately. I don't know if everybody's been having those thoughts, but it's definitely something that I've been in the forefront of my mind.
Lee, what you got?
Oh man, I say personally, I'd piggyback off that first part, man. You know what I mean? Just just thinking about the providing, and protecting what that means. You know what I mean? At what scale, at what level? Because you can provide and protect at a specific level, but is that the level you need to get to the next level, or is the level you need to, what I mean, get your family to start thinking about generational type things and to start thinking further ahead, and just understanding that that's on your back. You know what I mean? Like you gotta push that forward. You gotta forge the path, for that, and you know whether they want to or not. You know what I mean? You gotta lay the path out for them and say, hey, man, look, this is the rubric. But then just also, man, just dealing with all the crazy changes in society, and trying to just get in where you fit in, to find your own space, you know what I mean, to continue to build and grow, while all these things are changing. You know what I mean? I think, man, I've been watching all this stuff on, like, I don't really watch the news a lot, but I see the headlines, man. CEOs stepping down, this company moving on, this company closing down, this company getting bought out, this company merging, so many things uncertain out here in the world. I think just trying to not internalize all of that stuff while still, I guess, creating your plan and pushing that plan forward, understanding the un, the unstableness of everything out here. All the markets, everything, because of these wars and all these other things. So I think that's one of the biggest things or biggest pressures. Just what I mean, being able to navigate your way, your space through the world with all these uncertainties, and then still staying on your path and on your dean to protect and provide, and to do more than that. You know what I mean? Because as a man, it's not just about protecting and providing. It's also about just being able to do some other things that bring benefits to your family and to your household.
No, that's solid, man. I definitely think about at what level do I prefer, will I be able to provide and protect, man? Like, do I go until I run out of ammo? What happens when I run out of ammo? Is it over? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just wild. Like, how like at what point where I don't got no more ammo, ain't no more food. You know what I mean? How many canned goods can you really store up? You know what I'm saying? How could you really protect if your kids is young? How could you really protect that? Can they run fast enough? Can we move fast enough? Are we all strong enough? Who we going to beat? How we going to take anything over? You know what I'm saying? Is the house safe? Or they, you know what I'm saying? Who's going to gang up and take over the neighborhoods? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be gangs. Am I going to join one? Like, you know what I mean? It's so much pressure on that, on where things are coming from, what I need to protect from. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't focus on having everything but being good at one thing and finding somebody else that's good at one thing, and then we all could have a different degree of where we can kind of like step in, teach each other, and hold each other down. And how long should we last is the main thing, right? Like, how long should we last? You know what I'm saying? Am I waiting for Christ to come back on this one? Like, you know what I'm saying? Am I waiting for the rapture on this, or like, do I have that to look forward to? Like, man, I ain't gonna be dealing with everybody else dealing with out here because I'm gonna be gone. Or am I gonna have to go through all these trials and tribulations? Like, you know what I mean? And at what point do it stop? Like, you know what I mean? It's just it's craziness, and it says biblically how long it's gonna last, 7 years, but X, Y, Z. But like, sheesh, like, am I really strong enough to not take that mark? You understand what I'm saying? Is one of those things that is that I think about that a lot. What's up, bro? I'm gonna hit you with the welcome, man. Like, welcome Joe Lemon. You know what I'm saying?
I came in right in the middle of the fire. It seems like, though, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats in the trenches on this one already.
A little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna hit you with the first question though, because there's a lot of different little feedbacks on that. We want to get your input on it. If you had an option, somebody offered you $100K or a coin flip of 10 million, what you taking?
Current setup, or like, are we going back to whenever I was 21? Are we
right now, today? Somebody walked up to you and said, "You got $100K,
yep,
no strings attached, or you got I'll flip this coin and you can get 10 million."
Give me a short bet. Sure bet. All
Sure
right.
bet.
Nah. Wait. 10 mil, you said? 10 mil's the actual number? Yeah.
10 mil.
I'll flip the coin on the 10 mil.
You'll flip the coin?
Yeah, I will.
Explain why.
You can figure out how to make the 100K. Like there's like pathways to the 100. You know what I mean? Like it might take a little bit of pain to kind of get there, but you can find 100K. With my current skill set, I believe most of us could find 100K, right? But 10 mil, that's like different levels. You know what I mean? To kind of get that dropped in the hat, hit your taxes in there, you're still gonna walk away with like at least a good 5.5. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be able to have something that's like ready to run. Like, yeah. I'll take that.
That's solid. The second question, the question you came in on is what pressures do you have with being on being a man?
Bro, it's all over, dog. Like, it's wild, man. Like, I was just talking to my pops about this earlier today, and it's just like, you would think at some point he turned 77, so you would think at some point this would be like, yo, when I hit this 60 mark, or when I hit this blank mark. And it's just like, there's just seasons. Like, there's a season when he was like, yo, this is cool. And things was like smoothing, you know what I mean? After he retired, then there's like, he feel like he's back on some other trenches. Like, he's back on some other movements. And it's just, I just don't think it stops. I mean, like, you would hope it stops. You hope that you can figure it out. But even once you figure out certain problems, there's like other ones. You know what I mean? There's always something coming for like men, bro. Like, I just think that, it just doesn't, it doesn't fade away, which sounds mad. Like,
that's crazy.
That shit sound oppressive, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? It sounds oppressive, bro.
In my head, when we get around 55,
I was thinking that too.
Like,
I was like, dang,
like I'm
just a
thinking
gauntlet.
We finally get a break at around 55s, 56s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, but like, bro, it like, so I came in on like what you were saying, like, yo, it's gonna be hard not to take the mark, and like, you can see how like there's places where like, you might be cool, you might be set, you know what I'm saying? But then you think about your kids, you think about your community, you think about people moving out, and like, whether you here or not, it's not even about you. Like, you probably at that phase in life, you probably not fighting to be like, yo, I gotta be here another day. It's probably not that. You know what I mean? That really ain't your fight. Probably the fight is real like, yo, I don't see how this is gonna look for cats, you know what I mean? And my whole, line, right? Like, I don't know how it's gonna look for people that are around me. Like, and
you still worry about your whole tribe like that?
He does?
No, I'm talking about you.
Of course. Yeah.
You still worried about your whole tribe like that?
I mean, like, honestly, at the moment, I mean, like, and this is real talk. Like, at times I go through these moments of being mad selfish. And sometimes I get too inwardly focused on just what I'm doing at the moment. I think. You know what I mean? So right now, honestly, I'm not crazy consumed with that. But nah, I think it's that's the way to be though. I think at your best, you are thinking about other people. You know what I'm saying? Like you're all
I
looking
mean,
outside yourself.
I words. If I haven't changed your name, then that's as far as it really go for me. You know what I'm saying? When we talking about survival and that kind of
Oh,
deal,
all right.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
any if I gave you a name, then I, you know what I'm saying, that's the length of it. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody else can kind of fend, and if we're able, I don't even think of us making it to each other, but if we can find some way to make it to a same situation, then it's a little bit safer. But for the
Well, look
most part,
though.
it's like how we even gonna get to each other.
I mean, what
So
is
I'm
different
not talking
levels
about a
though?
doomsday. Yeah, I'm not talking about like a doomsday scenario,
That's
but
what I be
just in
thinking.
general.
I think about it dang near every day on a doomsday.
Yeah.
Dog.
So,
Like,
so from that standpoint, man, from a more of a calm perspective, yeah, man, I am because in my family, I am that guy, man. I'm, it's crazy to say, man, I'm 41 years old, but at this point, man, I'm kind of a patriarch, man. All the ones who could or did are gone at this point. So it's up to me. So I do think about that type of stuff, man, and it's a heavy cross to bear, to be honest. But it's okay, man. I feel I was trained for it. I was, but so there's the provide and protect. Like that's the bare necessity. That's the bare minimum that I'm thinking about. And then there's the other stuff. Like, am I preparing and am I, setting this up to keep going and that type of stuff. And that's to me, that's the mental part that I go through. But yeah, I mean, I at this point, man, I think about that. And, one of the things that I talk about all the time was kind of in the last year, man, I did a lot of soul searching. I did a lot of work on myself. In a lot of ways, it was to get myself out of kind of survival mode. And I'm to the point now where I'm good, but it gave me, I guess, a new set of eyes to see stuff that I wasn't focused on, whether it was the longevity piece, whether it's my health, whether it's, my family, their health, financially, or they set up for when I'm gone, because I think it's to the point where I'm good as long as I'm living. But what about when I'm gone? What am I leaving? And have I given them the skill set and everything they need to move forward and be comfortable in their life, in their lifetime going forward? So, it's a heavy cross to bear, but man, it's something I think I was raised for and I'm set up for, and I got the shoulders to handle. But man, it's heavy as the head who wears the crown.
what's up, Mr. Fulton? What's good with you, man?
Hey, I don't know if you can hear this background noise. I apologize, man. Got into the meeting, it got a little long.
No, we can hear you.
And
What's
totally,
going on? How you feeling, man?
hey, man, I'm trying to make it in the wild, wild west. What's going
Man,
on, brothers?
I can dig it. Leifer,
Hey,
did you have anything to elaborate on?
No, we can let Mr. Fulton hop in there.
I want to get him in on the next question, man. And
Get
what's
him
the
on that
last?
first question too. I'm curious.
Curious to what?
His answer is because we know we're at different phases of life. I'm curious about that first one about the money.
Okay. So default,
yes, sir.
if somebody offered you 100K straight or 10 million on a coin flip, which one you taking?
100,000 straight, 10 million on a coin flip. Whoa, that's how y'all doing it.
Yeah.
I'm
Welcome
gonna
back.
take. I'm, I'm gonna take my chances on the coin flip.
What's the thought behind that?
Um, well, to me, not to brag, I mean, my household, like $100,000. I mean, it's a fortune for someone else. For me, it's three payments on something and it's gone.
Mm,
So if I'm averaging three to almost $400,000 a year, the
yeah.
100,000.
What's 100? What's 100 to you?
Yeah, I mean, it helps, but that chance on that
I
10
mean,
mil helps a whole lot.
but that right, but it's a coin flip. Somebody give you 100K, like nothing. No, you haven't worked for it. That's different from money earned compared to money
Listen,
given.
So
it's
we
still
talking
steak
about
and eggs for breakfast. It's still steak and eggs
yeah.
for breakfast. 10 million changes life.
Yeah. And then you talk about a coin flip, heads or tails, 50-50. I'm
50
taking
50.
that. I'm taking that chance, bro.
No, that's solid.
Now, if I'm at the bottom of the barrel, I'm taking 100,000.
Mm, okay. So to get on the next question though, what kind of pressures have you been dealing with as a man? Where you're at right now?
That's for me,
Yeah.
or that's in
Yep.
general. Hey man, here's the crazy thing. As a black man, this is the joint about mental health, correct? So as a
Yep.
black man, I'll be 57 in July, and it's crazy. So we're taught to harbor in. I have a lot of secrets, and I have a lot of things that I've seen and that people have entrusted me with for a long time. And that 56, 57, man, them things are trying to bubble up, and the mental fragility of the mind begins to play tricks on you, bro.
Sheesh.
And it becomes painful. And so one thing that we're taught not to do in the black community is to go seek out someone to talk to.
Mm,
So I took a leap first from with my marriage. We went into therapy, and so now every Monday, man, I got my own therapist, bro,
mm.
and I'm able to wrestle with these things that try to haunt me. And as I get older, you understand how life is really a vapor,
When
and
did you
so
decide therapy was the way to go, opposed to um
desperation
mm,
and being betrayed by talking to people that you thought that can hold some stuff,
mm,
and they betray you. And so I had trust issues, and so at least with a professional, you know that information is concealed, and not that they fix anything. It just helps you to grapple and wrestle with those things and how to deal with that, how to ask for forgiveness, how to forgive without any reciprocity or anything like that. You know what I mean? How to move forward. So it's been very therapeutic for me, man.
sheesh. I don't even know if I want to go to therapy on that. I, like no, because I mean, think about the things you're saying, like forgiving somebody without any reciprocity, right? Moving on with what I'm saying, without the other party, like nah, nah, I don't want to be that like that.
Yeah,
It's not that I want to hold it, but you not go. It ain't going to be letting bygones be bygones either.
yeah. This whole notion of forgive, but you never forget, because your brain is able to store all of that.
Mm.
But as a believer, for me, I've tried to practice walking in forgiveness to be free, not to let anyone else off the hook, to
Yeah.
shake that, to brush my shoulders and keep it moving,
Mm.
and don't allow that to affect me and how I move. And especially in Pittsburgh, this is the land of giant killers, bro. Dream killers here,
I ain't been there in a
and
long time. I don't even know what's going on in that city no more.
yeah, it's been that way. I did a podcast on Sounds from the Pit, and this interview with some OGs. They was like, even back when Lady Day and all them guys was coming through the jazz joints, Pittsburgh was known as the land of dream killers, man. So it has that stigma.
Wow.
Mm. So I kind of want to go to the next question, man, and you kind of spoke on it a little bit, right? Um, Holding all these secrets, man, and I know we deal with like a lot of deaths. You know what I mean? Everybody don't make it to the next year. We got peers dropping. Like we just reached the age where people not making it because of health. Like we're
Yeah.
all the same age. You're the only one that's 57, but we're at the age where people are making it not because of gang violence anymore, because of health reasons. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's getting over the stage of violence. You know what I'm saying? Through your 20s, young 30s. All right, we made it. We made it to our 40s now, and now we got something else killing us right back. Like we ain't have no break. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, are we dealing with PTSD as a community? Like, cause we got to go to work the next day. Like going to work the next day, and we got death on our mind on a regular basis. How we handling this? Mo, you up?
Man, this is deep. To be honest, I
Yeah.
didn't expect this. As y'all were kind of talking about it, man, like stuff start kind of coming to mind, man. Stuff that I've seen, stuff that I've experienced. Like literally, man, like there's probably gonna be, now isn't the time, but there's probably gonna be need to be a time where I need to talk to somebody. Just keeping it real, like, cause man, like there's some. I know where all the bodies are buried. Like, so at some point, man, I'm gonna need to deal with this. Like, for real, for real. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm gonna need to find a way to get this stuff up off me, right? So, but with that being said, man, it's just a very, very for whatever reason, I just haven't got to the point yet. Like, cause for those that know me, man, I always like, therapies it doesn't work. I need to try something different because I've been, I've said this a few times already. I think that for the longest time I was working in survival mode, that I wasn't worried about the other stuff, the self-care, the self-healing type stuff, because I was just trying to survive. And the fact that, man, some of the stuff that we deal with, and I always say, like, I take a lot of lessons from like work in corporate America and stuff like that. And I'm just a people watcher. So I watch kind of what people do and how they, and like, I remember, like, by the time I don't know, Vic, by the time I was, 22, I'm saying I'm not going to no more funerals because I've seen too many young corpses. So I guess actually younger than that. I was about 20. I was like, I'm not going to no more funerals unless they die from natural causes. Like PTSD, like I've probably seen just as many losses as a soldier, but they didn't give me an exit interview. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of dealing with this stuff. Yeah, man. So it wasn't until, obviously I've kind of had it in my subconscious, but Default said it, and as y'all were just kind of talking about it, man, it kind of triggered something in me to like, yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to deal with this because this is going to get real, and there's going to come a time. Hopefully it's not desperation, like you said. Hopefully I'll be proactive. I always talk about putting up smoke detectors instead of fighting fires. So hopefully I do a better job of that. It is not a desperation type thing. But yeah, I really, y'all gave me some stuff to think about, and I got some work to do on self.
Shout out to Mo, man, for admitting that he got to get some work done. Joe, what you got, bro? How you dealing with tragedy, man? Like,
Bro, it's that thing is heavy, dog. Like, so I went to my uncle's funeral this past weekend, and he lived to be like his mid-70s, which is like, to me, you know what I mean, that's like a full life. You know what I mean? Like, you get to, I think the average age is right around there anyway. You know what I mean? So of death. So we all gonna run that. Everybody's gonna cross that actual line at some point. But even with that, it still hits you different, like, because you don't really be expecting that phone call to happen at any given moment, even though you're like, oh yeah, I was supposed to link up with him a couple months ago and we didn't do it. You know what I mean? So you like, you know what I mean? All those things still need to be worked through. But I did have a therapist. I got a therapist last year whenever my family was going through all that stuff. Matter of fact, whenever you was out there like in Dallas with me, bro, I had like a straight therapist I was talking to, and be quite honest with you, it wasn't like the best therapist. Like, I don't blame therapy. I think therapy works. But I definitely think that you gotta like come to therapy with like a plan, not just like, yo, I ain't feeling good. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's somebody that's dope, like, you know what I mean, that can really break it down. Like, I just don't feel like myself. You know what I'm saying? And like, she ain't know what to do with me. I'm just like, all right, well, let me go work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did it for like at least a good 3-4 months. But I definitely know that there is dope therapists out there. I definitely think that's definitely one way. But as we get to these different levels, bro, like how we was talking before, it's like there's always another challenge. You know what I'm saying? There's another like, you know what I'm saying, like boss that we got to go defeat or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And I think we got to come up with brand new tactics. In my 20s, it was definitely training. In my 30s, it was like talking to friends. You know what I mean, on a regular basis to try and figure it out. Now I got to find some old brand new path for the 40s. I think therapy, talking to people is going to be a way, but I definitely think that being self-aware and just getting a realistic outlook on where you're at is a big part of it too. Because I think sometimes we kind of we got so much PTSD in our community that we're viewing opportunities as threats. Like, we're not looking at these things in the right manner. Like, there is time to get up out of there because it's a real problem. And there's other times when it's like, hold up, that's actually an opportunity to go do something with it. And I think a lot of us, are kind of struggling to kind of see those all those different lines. So I think just getting with people having a realistic outlook on what's really going on in your life, and so therapy could be one of those tactics.
I think something you kind of hit on is digging under them rocks, right? Like you build your house on this unstable ground or this you know what I mean, and the foundation's all messed up. You didn't do the foundation right, but you was able to build a roof over your head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
when somebody come poking around at that foundation, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa! I just needed the roof fixed. And
Mhm.
they're like, "Well, your roof is gonna keep leaking until we get until we get your house back straight." And you're like, "Well, no, I just need you to put a couple shingles up there." Like you coming for help, but you're like limiting the help at where it can go. And
Mhm.
really, you need your foundation fixed because your house is slanted, and that's why your roof is leaking. You know what I'm saying? But you're like,
Facts.
nah, 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 nah. Put a couple shingles up there. There's that hole. I seen it. Just
Mhm.
fix that hole. And then they're like, all right, I can give you this patch up job, but it ain't. It's gonna come back.
I mean, bro, and just talking about having that as your foundational piece, part I mentioned, like one of the best things I did when I was probably feeling the worst was just going on walks early morning and just praying, bro. Like praying and walking, dog. Like solo, it would be like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Did that for like 2 weeks straight. And it's like no, like wasn't even too, it wasn't no deep spiritual thing. Like it was just like me just like talking to God solo. Like to me, that was the dopest move I did to help fix the foundational stuff because everything else didn't really make sense. Like therapy wasn't right. But I wasn't doing that whenever I was doing therapy either. I was just doing that on my own. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Lee, for you up, what you got?
I zoned out. Where we at?
how you dealing with the PTSD of the community as far as like dealing with people's deaths or traumas? You know what I'm saying?
I
That
don't.
stuff.
I don't. I don't. And I probably drink, so I minimize any of that extra um, thought or emotion. My mind runs rampant all the time. But yeah, I don't deal with it. I stopped going to funerals years ago. Like I don't go to funerals. You know what I mean? If I don't have to, like if it ain't somebody like extra close to me, like that's not closure for me. To me, that's like death of a thousand needles. Like I don't like to see people and have a hold a memory of of them in their weakened state, or you know what I mean, in the casket. Like I like to remember the good times. So that's the last memory. If you get sick and all that, like I'll come see you, and that's my condolences right there. Like I'm not I don't, yeah, I don't do the funerals and stuff like that anymore. If I can help it, like it doesn't help me. A lot of times they say, the funeral ain't for the dead. It ain't for the dead. It's for the living. And I'm like, nah, it's not for me because it just doesn't do anything positive for me. It just puts me in a real dark state. So I don't deal with it in that way. But what I will say is that for a long time, like I was knocking on therapy, you know what I mean? Because it was like I would have these therapists or these counselors or whatever, and I just felt like, and maybe I felt like I was being as honest as possible, but maybe I wasn't always as open and honest because maybe I just didn't feel comfortable with them. So in that sense, it was kind of working against itself, but I have been in and out of therapy, you know what I mean? Just trying stuff, just trying to have somebody to talk to, you know what I mean, that to help me work, and not to like for them to give me answers, but just so I can kind of work it out on myself, on my own, you know what I mean? So I can, just process the stuff that's in my head, just verbalize it in order to be able to, like, okay, a lot of times I end up coming with solutions just from having that, being able to just speak to somebody about it who's not attached to the situation or doesn't have any kind of judgment or any affiliation with it, just, and they could just kind of, tell me give me their clinical expertise about certain ways, whether it's breathing or meditation or whatever it is. And that kind of helps me, get through a lot of that stuff. But one thing that did resonate with me is what Default was talking about and forgiving. But I think one piece that was missing out of there was just being able to forgive yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not always forgiving somebody else. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to be able to forgive yourself to be able to move on and let go of a situation. You know what I mean? That's not really good for you, or they may just be harboring it. It might just be sitting there looming on you, bringing a dark cloud over you. So, sometimes forgiveness isn't for the other person. Sometimes you got to just forgive yourself.
What's up, big bro? What you got? How do you deal with death and people around you not making it, and you making it to the next year. And I can't hear you.
You get me now?
Yeah, there you go.
My fault. So, I mean, sometimes you get to, not sometimes. I'm in this space where you get to wrestle with that life is finite, bro. And in the business I'm in, I average having to do 3 to 4 funerals a week. And so it's really sobering. And as a young man, you think, loving superheroes that you're going to live forever. And then when you get, and thank God that I've gotten to this age, it really shows you how fragile life is, man. And so I love hard, bro. I love hard. There's good and evil. I try to focus on what's good. I try to help where I can. I try to instill in my kids. Our parents hid a lot of stuff from us. I have honest conversations with my children and with the people or the kids I mentor. But it's real. Like I don't know if you guys seen Darrell Revis. He was on one of the podcasts. I don't know if it was the Pivot.
You know what I
A
mean?
couple. He talked about that, and so I'm thinking it's the football thing. He talked about how many deaths he saw as a kid, and he's just now dealing with it in his late 30s, going to 40s. So it doesn't go anywhere. You're going to wrestle with it. Just recently, man, I went through this phase. My dad has passed since I was 18 years old. I got this insatiable, unquenchable desire. I need to talk to my dad. Nobody else would do. Nobody else would do. And one of my girls, who's a musician, she's into like kind of, I don't want to call it the witchcraft or whatever it is, but she goes to these seances, and she said, "You want to conjure him up?" Now watch this. The
That's witchcraft.
desperation,
That's
yeah.
witchcraft.
Well, the desperation of me wanting to talk to my dad and deal with some of my stuff in the past.
Wow.
I said, yeah, let's get it, right? Some of it was me being cynical. And it was during the pandemic, man. I'll never forget. It was a Thursday appointment at 11 o'clock. My sis called me. She was like, yo, she's feeling this energy from you. Boom, boom, boom. She was dead on, right? So I was like, yo, what you tell her? Skeptical, right? So this sister who I share my dreams with, she said, she calls me, and I ain't talked to her in 2 years. She said, Brother Dwayne, I had a dream about you. She said, your dad was in my dream. This is no exaggeration. He told me to tell you to finish what you started. What's my point? Because I'm a God fearing man, as much as we need human relationship, man, everything that how I move is shaped in my relationship with God. So it's easier for me to cry out. Again, using that term to wrestle with God when we dealing with mental disorders, disorder of the mind, when those things come in your mind that, makes you question a whole lot of stuff. Oftentimes when I go and talk to him about it, whether it comes from him directly or through these conversations, it helps me to wrestle with that PTSD. You know what I mean? So it's a journey, bro. It's not a sprint, it's a freaking journey. Never ending. But you gotta learn, you gotta still learn to live. Still gotta learn to live, man. So
I think for me, I take a more preventative measure where I try to treat people like it is the last time I'm gonna talk to you.
oh
You know,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I make sure like our interaction is fully is I'm fully giving in everything I feel from you. You know what I'm saying? So you're never going if I love you, you're gonna know it. You know what I'm saying? If I don't like you, you're gonna know it. Like, but the whole experience, with anybody that like if I care for you, you know that I care for you. You know what I'm saying? And as long as I can always leave like that, then like if something were to happen, everybody already knows where I stood with them, how I felt. There's no reason to be like really go back. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a friend recently just passed from a heart attack, and like I feel some type of way, but at the same time, I know our last interaction was just as genuine as it's ever been. So it's like I don't need a my last words, or man, I just needed to say one more thing to him, or you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't need any of that because every interaction has been nothing but full of love. You know what I'm saying? As long as I can do that with people, um, that's my way of kind of dealing with what's to come. You know what I'm saying? As far as what kind of death we may have, you know what I'm saying? As far as dealing with it, uh, just through life though, it pauses me a lot throughout my days of like, dang, this person ain't going. Like sometimes I'll just sit there and be like, just run a total, like this person, this person, this person, this person, and it kind of like it gives me anxiety sometimes. You know, it kind of stops me in whatever I'm doing, but I'm just running a total. This person from high school, this person from college, this person from life, like dang, and just kind of remembering what these people were about. You know what I'm saying, and what they shared with me. And it's crazy that I'm here, but at the same time, like I complain a lot about not being where I want, and then be like, dang, like, but bro, he would love to be watching the game right now. I'm sitting here watching the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild to me. It's so I mean, so the best way I've learned how to deal with it is make sure I treat people like is with everything I feel at the moment and not hold anything back. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, as far as on the other side of it, I don't know, man. You kind of gotta act like ain't nothing happened. Cause how we gonna go to work and be like, oh yeah, my friend just passed. Oh, my aunt just passed. Like they'll look at me and be like, man, you got somebody dying dying around you every other week. And like you can't express that, or they're like, why your production ain't rocking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't thinking correctly. Like, you know what I mean? I need some help myself. And even we talked about the mental health kind of situation, right? And I went on a journey last year with the whole trying meds and stuff. None of it worked for me. All that stuff was absolutely terrible, except for the Adderall. Now the Adderall,
I thought you said it didn't work, dog. You
no,
just
that Adderall is a limitless pill, boy. It had me on something else. It was coming down
oh,
that had me rocked up, like, you know what I'm saying, like coming down from Adderall. Whew, nah, you hallucinating and everything. But while you on that joint, oh man, it's going down. You going nuts on that thing. So that's the only thing about that whole, like, I took the Visvanes, the Wellbutrins, I took the whole gambit of stuff that they now all that
You
stuff
ain't
just
you
made
ain't
you
take the
sleep.
gummies.
Well, I
You know
mean,
that's
that's
big
that's
right
good for
now. You
sleep.
know.
You know what I'm saying? I work for the
Okay.
government. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But, nah, yeah. I mean, it is what it is with those, and they work. They're good sleep aids or whatever. But I don't necessarily, as far as like dealing with focus is what I struggle with. It's focus and keeping attention. It's not necessarily like feeling down or anything, but I do feel sad when I fail. So that's kind of what the last question here, man. I just want to go over
So,
how you.
so before you go too far, I wanted to address something that you talked about, like at work and not being able to be your authentic self and not being able to that. So as an HR professional, that's not true. Every company has something, some type of employment line, some type of aware line to get yourself some help. And to be quite honest, if you feel like your performance is slipping and stuff like that, even even if it's based off of those external factors or not, they can't fire you if you let them know you're struggling with something. So you don't have to suffer in silence. Trust me, it's actually bad for you to do so. Um, if it's really affecting you to the point to where it's an issue, say something. There's professionals out here that are trained in this arena, and not only that, man, like you trying to balance that with the also the responsibility of trying to provide and trying to keep a roof over your head and do whatever you need to for your family. Like, get some help where you can get it, and that's the place where you should definitely get it. So you don't have to pretend. If you feel it's necessary to say something, say something. Um, every company has something, even if they don't publicize it. I guarantee you, if you went to your manager and said, "Hey, I need some help. I'm struggling with whatever it is, alcoholism, drug abuse, mental health," there is going to be some type of services or some type of help that they can provide for you. So definitely speak up.
No, that's a good clip, man. I'll make sure I get that out to the world because we definitely need to know that, and not be ashamed of getting help. I think that's the big thing, right? Being overburdened, or well, if I tell them I got to get help, then maybe they don't value me the same, or you know what I'm saying, or you don't want to mess up the bread, so you try to fake it through. You know what I mean? So, but I mean that kind of goes into the next question, man. When's the last time you failed, and how'd you handle that failure? Hold on, give me a second. Leesford, what you got?
Man, I probably fail all the time, man. But I don't allow that to. I don't allow that to stop me from, striving to reach my goals. You know what I mean? I probably try to fail up. You know what I mean? And fail forward. Because all the time, what they say, man plans. What they say, man plans and God laughs or something like that. I always have, like well thought out, strategic plans on how I'm gonna do everything, even pump the gas. And sometimes they just don't, the best laid out plans don't always work out because they don't always account for the human element. So, sometimes I fail all the times, you know what I mean? And it just is what it is. I've never really been afraid of failure, or I've never been like I love to win, but it doesn't
You
it
don't care
doesn't
about
do
winning.
anything. It doesn't do anything to me. Like I love to win. I love to win. I just don't hate to lose. Like it does. Like losing doesn't diminish me.
I hate
Losing
it.
is just a part of the journey.
Hate it.
To me, it's a part of the journey to me. It's like it's like I don't like, even when I lose, I don't feel like I really lost because I'm learning something from it and I gain something from it and I build on that and I go to the next level. Like I don't, because even when if I win something but I don't achieve the goal, did I really win? You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. Like I could win at whatever I'm doing, whatever's in front of me. I could win, but still not achieve the ultimate goal. So to me, it's like it's not really a win. But then I could lose what's right in front of me and then achieve the goal. And would that be considered a loss? Like, so I look at things in a more nuanced way than just wins and losses at that level. But you know what I mean? I fail all the time, man. And I look at it like, okay, well, what did I do? You know what I mean? And how could I get better? And I reassess the situation and I try to get better in that regard. But it's not that I don't care about winning. I'm just not consumed with it so much that I can't embrace the loss and see the gain in the loss, or see the improvement that I can make through that loss. You know what I mean? I'm not so what is it? So I don't have tunnel vision in that way to where I can't see like, okay, well, this is where I lost, but how can I get better from that? So that's how I just look at
What's up, Joe?
it. If
What you
any
got?
of that made sense.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I can feel what you're saying to the degree of like definitely filling up. You know what I mean? Because like I definitely I always try to put the losses in like perspective. You know what I mean? Like like how many wins do I mean, like for instance in business, I only need 25 real wins for me to have a great year or do what I'm trying to do this year. You know what I mean? So if I lose 100 times, but I got 2 wins for that week, I'm on the way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, I'm always trying to think about how to put things in like perspective, and coping with it is just like sometimes you gotta sit back and look like, yo, you folded, and you know what I mean. Take that in, take that loss. You know what I'm saying? And really let it rev you up. Again, because if you folded, it's for a reason, probably. You know what I mean? You probably didn't do something. You probably missed a step. You probably need to go back and watch the footage. You know what I mean? So like, I think that there's like great value in the losses. Matter of fact, there's probably more value in the losses than there is just the wins. So, yeah.
Big bro, how you deal with your failures?
Hey, they said it all, man. A failing doesn't make you a failure, and L should cause growth. I think. Let me talk about the demographics of who I deal with. Um, Too often in the African American community, especially in my area, young brothers and sisters have dreams and they fail and then they give up. They say it's not going to work, you know. But I read books and I understand, like Dr. Seuss, that he was turned down by 27 publishers. I look at the Nike story. You know, there's so many stories, and to win without failing, that crash when you fail is going to be more devastating.
Hmm.
You know, my greatest fear right now is being, you know, men or workers, so being a public and a private failure. So balancing the two worlds of my public life, leaving legacy, leave the stuff for my kids, but not also not being a dad. You know, one time my son, when he was younger, I'm working, you know what I do as far as the music and stuff. I'm traveling, boom, boom, boom. He had this science project, and I go to the science, come home, I go to the science project, and I'm looking at everybody else's, and it's big. He got this little thing. I'm like, Zach, what you know? He's crying. He said, Dad, if you was there, then maybe I would have been, you know. And so that failure of private, meaning family, meaning the fatherhood, is the thing that I fear and really work on the balance of the private sector. I mean, the public sector and the private. But I think failing is healthy. It don't feel good. It don't feel good, but what you do with it, you know, you get up, fall forward, like the brother said already. I think it's healthy if it's in that perspective, and admitting when you effed up. Hey, I messed up. Oh, you know, I messed up on that one. Or I use this term in one of my sessions with my team. You know, it was like they was taking over. I thought I lost the locker room. You know what I mean? Mugs was getting wild, and then I was listening to Jay Z song, man, and not to cuss. I forgot to. You lost one. I heard my efforts saying they made Hove say, okay, well, make another Hove. I applied that to me, like, oh, I heard y'all saying y'all made four. Okay, I'm gonna make another four, and that's what I'm doing. I'm still climbing, bro, and I'm still learning. So I think losses are you just can't stay there. Dust yourself off, get back up, try it again.
Where you at, Mo?
So man, this is deep, man, and like we talk about, man, this is kind of like therapy. I think this is kind of why I haven't felt the need to do it yet, but this is kind of like therapy, and I was just kind of taking some notes while everybody was talking, and the first thing that came to mind for me was a quote that somebody that I'm close to said one time was, "Even when you lose, you're learning to win." So like I don't really let that bother me. And anybody that knows me, I can even think back to my initial meeting with Kev. Is anybody that knows me, I'm never going back down. I'm never going to take an L. Okay, you might get me. You're going to have to see me again tomorrow. Like, so that's just who I've always been. So the L's don't really bother me. So that's not a big thing. But Default said something that kind of it hit real deep. And he was talking about that private failure. And at this point, like right now, man, I've been I feel like I've been on a win streak for a while. And in my mind, I'm kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop, but I always go back to a show that we had where we had the doctor on, and like I literally tell myself this once a week, and he's like, I deserve this. I deserve this good life. I deserve the good things that are happening to me, because sometimes, man, you're literally like, oh, I'm waiting. Things are too good. Something got to be happening. Well, bad things happen in threes and all that stuff that, we learned in Pittsburgh. Like, nah, like I put in the work. These are the things that come with that delayed gratification in the hard work that I put in. So with that being said, man, it's those private failures, like with my daughter, that I worry about now. Like we're doing, ACT, SATs. We're worrying about where we're going to school. We're trying to figure out, GPAs. Are you going to achieve your dreams? I'm good. Can I pour into her and make sure she gets what she wants and and be something that she can be proud of as well as myself? And that's the stuff that I'm more worried about now. But man, but shout out to the doc. I can't even remember his name, but I literally use that once a week. I'll literally tell myself, I deserve the good things that are happening. I put in the work, I earned them.
No, that's dope, man. Joe, I think you went already, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah. I went in there.
So I mean, I take a little bit from what everybody said, right? Like I definitely handle my failures as if there's way more opportunities. This ain't the only one. Um, I think my fear would be if there wasn't any more, then I would probably crash out. You know what I'm saying? But as long as I know there's more, like you know what I'm saying, like there's a whole ocean out there
You're
to
definitely
go.
a carrot and stick guy for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
he's definitely a carrot and stick guy. Yeah.
like as long as I know there's an ocean out there, then the opportunity is there. You know what I'm saying? And I can keep going. Like it's just like a just don't look down. You know what I mean? Because at the moment I look down, it's like you be this close to crashing out. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like you be so close to like one thing taking you over the over the edge, like my car getting booted. You know what I'm saying? I could have ended my whole life just because my car got booted. You know what I'm saying? And it could have been a bad thing. Like, dang, I would have threw everything away just over that. But it'd be right there on the border. And as far as losing, I absolutely hate it. Like
Mhm.
with a passion. Like it really bothers me. You know what I'm saying? Like even when we play like intramural sports, like I don't shake hands if we lose. Like I'm like I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got to do better, but I just don't. It's so devastating for me to lose in a lot of cases because I be like I work too hard. I should win. You almost expect to win when you put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And losing should be devastating. And if you're not devastated by the loss, then you obviously didn't work hard enough. That's how I feel about
I mean, but bro, I gotta push back on that though, because like you feel bad about losing. I mean, like losing on a regular basis though.
it. Yeah.
I mean, because I recall stories from Pinel's, picnic days, dog. You know what I mean? Where I'm sure cats was taking losses, but they was out there moving around. I mean,
You
like,
hear what you said though. It was Penn Hill's picnic, right? The ocean was we was in the ocean. We was in the sea full. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't no little pond. This was go have at it buffet style.
it was
You know what I'm
busy.
saying?
It
So
was
as
a
long as
busy. It
I
was a
have the
busy weekend.
options, I'm good. If I could just move on and
Yeah.
get to the next, I could fall forward. I could fail forward. You know what I'm saying? It's just when that pond gets small,
Yeah.
or like things start dwindling down, or like you know what I'm saying. I got my back against the wall. Then it's nothing to go into survival mode, which is not good for anybody. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because you make desperate decisions. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, man. I know
Or
you.
you make calculated decisions. You know what I mean? Because that's how I feel. Like when my back is against the wall, man, I become, Denzel in the Equalizer, dude. I'm like, man, my mind gets sharp and I'm singularly focused, and it's a wrap.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's when I do my best work. You know what I mean? When my back is against the wall and I get to that certain stress and adrenaline level. You know what I mean? But um, you was about to end it, and I want to stop you from doing that just 1 second, because I think it was default. He said something about those public wins and those private losses, and man, that could be a whole episode in itself because, um, man, I feel like that's probably the story of a lot of people's lives, man. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
you doing wonderful things out in the public eye, man, but at home it's hard to balance that work, get that work life
Definitely
balance.
right now.
I'm out here in the world trying to make this thing work, make this thing shake for y'all here, so I'm not able to be present. Even if I'm home sometimes with you, I'm not able to be present with you. And you know what I mean? Dealing with that, like that's a whole nother level of stress where you feel like you win and win and win it, but you failing at home, and it's bringing a whole different level of anxiety and stress because you don't really have the tools to deal with that type of disappointment that you bringing upon your spouse or your kids and things like that. So man, that's a whole nother thing. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't gloss over that, and that we want, you know what I mean? We like, yo, this is a real thing, yo, because the public wins will have you thinking like you a G, and then you come home and you like, damn. You know what I mean? When they hit you with that truth bomb, like, Dad, you missed my softball game, or you missed my soccer game, or you didn't make it to my performance, and you know what I mean? Or oh, you missed the anniversary. You know what I mean? And those things, and you like,
Yeah. I'm glad
hey,
I'm glad you stopped me because that's actually one of the questions I had is what do you do when your family's not functioning right?
mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like when you got these high expectations of your family, like your public eye, and then that your private, your kids, not doing well at school, they failing or whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe their mental health isn't right. Maybe they dealing with some wildness. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Mo's the only one with a teen. Well, no, y'all both got teenagers. Well, I got a teenager too, but but like it loses my yeah.
You literally have two.
It goes everywhere. But it's like, what if those teens are starting to like, okay, there's somebody stole a car. They're out there doing dirt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with, you know what I'm saying, your kid being a menace to the streets or just failure anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like protecting them, like as far as their mental health is going. Maybe they're anxious or they're suicidal or they got ADHD or whatever. Like how, like dealing with those kind of, those are private failures that, you know what I'm saying, that really hit the brain hard, man. And I think it takes a toll on me, you know, dealing with those kind of things. I don't know how y'all deal with them. Like, is it like now that I do see a need to kind of like buckle down and focus, like, all right, man, we got to get you right. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna work harder, we're gonna study harder, we're gonna read. You're not gonna be out here looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Is that how y'all handle yours as far as like honing in?
I can go for sure. Man, like I said, man, that one cuts deep, man. So for starters, the first thing I try to do is I have a spirit of gratitude. So I think that kind of helps me. So if you remember this is one of Vic's favorite movies, World War Z. Like it reminds me of that. Like it's almost like my sickness is what protects me, right? So like my survivor's remorse is what kind of gets me through those chaotic times, right? Like literally, like if something's going on, like I'm okay with it. Like I have been saying this, like I don't want no problems, but when it's a problem, it's no problem. Like I'm willing to get in the trenches with somebody that I love. It's back to back. We gonna get it until there's nobody left. So I'm able to do that pretty good. But the one thing that I think is kind of a blind spot and is kind of a vulnerable spot for me is my daughter. Like, I don't know, have I given her enough armor? Have I armed her with enough for what the world has for her? Like, that's the one spot that I feel like, for whatever reason, that's my blind spot that I don't know. We'll have to see. I just have to trust my preparation and trust what I instilled in her. But that is one thing that it keeps me up at night. So how I deal with it, like I'm willing to get down in the trenches with you. And you know, this isn't just for my daughter, it's for anybody that I love. Like I'm willing and I'm able, like I'll get back to back and let's get to it. But there's also that, can you trust that backside protection when you're doing that? That's the one thing that, you know, I need to kind of work on and I need to figure out. But I'm definitely willing to do the work. It's just, you know, trusting that preparation and trusting that other person to do their end of the bargain. That's the part that's tough for me right now.
Joe, you want to speak on it? Or Defoe, you want to speak on it?
Yeah, I mean, that blind spot right there, bro, is unnerving. Um, I have a son who's in college, and I got a daughter who will be a senior next year. And so I remember a couple episodes, you know, y'all were talking about the generations and how certain generations failed the next one. And I took that episode, I took that to heart, Kev or Vic. And what I make sure we have family meetings, man. And you know, back in the day, you know, you weren't allowed to say anything, be quiet, just do as I say. No, when my kids, they know I'm an open door. Now there's some negotiables and there's some non-negotiables. And then I really stress and them understanding who they are. So when they're dealing with, especially social climates and kids are mean, man. What's your name? So Zoe, when she leaves the house, baby girl, what's your name? She points to the back of her, like her name is on there. Say it, Zoe Forward. What's that mean? So she comes and, you know, dealing with, because she goes to a predominantly white school, you know, they on me talk about I'm code switching. I said, are you code switching or are you talking white or because you're talking proper? So having those hard conversations with her, but there's no black and white. I mean, there's no clear answer, man, because you got both parents working. For real, society bombards our kids more than our influence. So how do you? I mean, what do you take the phones off of them? Do you forbid them to get on social media when everything is ran by social media? And they're moved by how many likes they got on TikTok and all that. You got to limit it, and so I try to be an open book. And like my kids, man, they're great at negotiation, man. Where I want to say no, this is it. They come back, but Dad, you ain't think about boom, boom, boom. Just like, yo, you got a point. Let's negotiate this. This is how we're gonna do that. And so now, when they got some tough things, I can see it, and it's like, we got to talk, right? And it might be a day or two, but keeping them lines of communication open and letting them to express their feelings, regardless because some of the stuff they come up with, bro, I'm just old school. It's just like, but I have to take that deep breath and hear them and then come up with some plausible solutions. But, bruh, that's the final frontier because if something happened to my baby girl and I'm a peace guy, I'm going to jail, bro. I'm going to jail.
I'm not going to jail. Y'all know what it is. I'll see you in Mexico.
Yeah, I like that. I like that even better. Yes, sir.
Ouch, I'm out.
But it's
Shout
a
out
darny
to
task,
Cuba.
bro.
Shout out to Cuba. I'm gone.
What's up, Joe? I know you wanted to speak on it.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it really is just what everybody said, bro. It's not something that you can like you can't lay out no game plan of how your actual kids are gonna play in every moment in this brand new environment. Cause like things that they're dealing with are the same things that we dealt with at like a different scale though. You know what I mean? Like bullying is not new. Our cats getting beat up ain't new, but cats getting jumped and then put online. You know what I'm saying? And then boosted. Yeah, that is brand new. Because cats said that you just took a loss. They had footage. They had footage for the whole city to see. You know what I mean? Like so like it's just
world.
different. Yeah, the whole world, bro.
The
like
world.
you know what I mean?
The world, Craig.
I mean, it's different, man. So I don't think that there's a set playbook for every scenario, but I do think that there is this like idea of what of pretty much what y'all were just breaking down is like getting close to the problem though, like just diving into it. Don't try to run away from whatever it does show up. Like keep the lines open, get close to them, get back to back, and then you just gotta like go hand to hand in the moment because you don't know what it is yet. So yeah.
Man, it was a pleasure having you on. I don't know if Leifer want to chime in and break me up one more time. Are you good? You said your piece?
Nah, I'm good, man. I had to make sure I got that in there because when Default said that I ain't want to interrupt him, but I also ain't want to forget. So I was like, man, I got to keep saying it to myself till I get a moment to hop in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was definitely an important piece, man. And we couldn't just let slide. We couldn't gloss over that, man.
Hey man, I appreciate our guests, man. I mean, at this point, y'all not guests, man. Y'all can come up whenever. We love having y'all up here, man. Default Joe Lemon, man. It's a pleasure.
Good to be here, dog.
But
Hey
man,
Vic, if I can't say, man, we bombarded with.
and, that's another prototype dad.
Yeah.
Nah, you can say it. Well, you can say it.
Yeah, I said we bombarded with negativity and just drama, man. It is such a breath of fresh air to get on a platform like that to see these positive brothers. Regardless if our views are different, man. The energy, the positivity, how we winning. Like there's some people out here winning, man. There's some black brothers out here winning, and you guys are winning, man. So I'm glad to be a part of this platform, and I wish y'all all the much success, man, for you and your families, brothers.
Saying to you, man, if I ever make it home, man, I'm gonna come get with you. We just don't. I don't go home.
Don't.
He said no, stay away. But yeah, man, that's another prototype dad, man. And we out. Peace.
All right, peace.